this, if you continue down the lyrics, it says, she said, I wish you told me when I turn my back. You know what I mean? And then he says, the less I give, the more I get back. It's like, that's the type of relationships that we're having out in the road like this. And they'll go from this whole relationship, fall in love again, and do the same exact thing. So imagine this type of tension all the time, no matter who you're with. I think that's what's really going on in the world right now, is you have people who are so jaded and so callous and fighting civil wars all the time that they're just giving up in general. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because thinking like that. I wish you told me when I turn my back. When you turn your back to someone, that's telling them the exact opposite.
Right.
So your expectations are in one place, your actions are in a different place, and they're so far apart. It's not just like I was going northwest and you were going north. No, I was going north and you were going south.
Right.
It wasn't even close. You know what I mean? So let me turn my back so that I can manipulate you into hugging me. What?
Right.
And then he says, the less I give, the more I get back. It doesn't even sound like love at all.
Because it's not. And yet we call it love, though. You know what I'm saying? We call it love. And when I was reading that, it's like the problem is not being honest. The incongruency of thinking one thing, feeling something else, saying something else, acting it, and then doing a different action. And it's like when you are thinking the same thing, feeling the same thing, speaking the same thing, doing the same thing, then you have so much more wholeness and peace. And so you can actually articulate yourself and actually be who you actually are. And you're not, because I feel like when people do this on the outside, that's how they are on the inside.
Exactly.
Inside you're all over the place. You're all, and so it's confusing even for the person wanting to love you or saying they want to love you. It's like, who in the heck am I actually in love with?
Wow.
I don't even know who you are. Because you don't know who you are, because you're in these 4 different places. You're doing 4 different things or 3 different things, and it doesn't go together. It's confusing. It feels unstable. It feels, and when you feel like that, if you think about when you go on a teeter-totter, it's like fun, and at the same time when you're up and you're not able to control the bounce, you're just kind of like it kind of feels like that. That's kind of, when you're a kid, that's part of the fun, that whole I'm up in the air, I don't know what I'm, and however in any other part of life, that part of every 2 seconds is not fun.
Being shocked all the time in a relationship? No way.
Not fun. I don't know what's happening. Every 2 seconds. That is not fun in a relationship.
If you don't go like nerd about it, what that is stress.
Yes.
And so it's like stress, pleasure, stress, pleasure, stress, pleasure. And it's like your nerves are just shot. You have no nerves. Up. And you're trying to wonder why you're having panic attacks and stuff. It's like, bro, because you don't know what the hell is going on.
Every time when I was in my previous relationship, it's like what they call walking on eggshells. It's like, is today a good day? That is the worst life I ever lived. Is today a good day? Is today a bad day? Am I going to say this and you're not going to get it and it's going to set you off? Oh, am I going to bring this up or am I not going to bring this up? And it's like a horrible, worst thing in the world.
So, to make it down even further, when you're manipulating, what you're doing is you're learning another person in order to make them do what you're going to do.
Not because you love them or care about them. Ooh.
I'm going to study you so that I know what buttons to push.
Just like a serpent.
Right. Exactly. How do I move and maneuver around your idiosyncrasies so that I can get what I want out of you, so I can distract.
Yikes.
And again, this isn't someone you love, supposedly, right?
Right.
So it's like, that doesn't sound loving at all. And this is the thing, we act like the other person doesn't know. They're not dumb. They know that, okay, I told this person my deep, dark secret a month ago, and the second they got mad at me, they wrapped this thing up. Never again.
Ever.
You know what I mean? It's like, we can't keep doing this stuff to each other and expecting it to work. Mm-mm. It just doesn't work. You know what I mean? And I think the expectation and actions are so far apart nowadays that we're getting to a point where now our expectations are that nothing will work. Because it was like, okay, I can sleep around and it'll still work. Oops, that's wrong. I can drink all day, all night, and it'll still work. Oops, that's wrong. I can do silent treatment for weeks on end, and that will still work. Nope. Right? So now you strike out 3 times, and now you're saying, well, maybe nothing works. And not only will I say nothing works, I'll act like it, and I'll tell everyone else that nothing works too. So I'm spread all my negativity everywhere. That's what's going on nowadays. You have industries of people who are around just to reinforce why it's not going to work.
Right. Which is and that's why you must heal, because the scripture says it's a bitter root that springs up and defiles many. Right. And it's just horrible, because if I don't heal, even if you don't expressly say, if I don't expressly say these things to my children, it's a way in which I live in front of them. It's a way in which I live in front of my cousins or my brothers or my parents or my coworkers or in front of the girls that I coach or whoever. And it's going to reinforce a lie. Right. And then when it's reinforced, then that's how multiple people start beginning to believe a lie, walking in a lie, speaking a lie, living a lie. Right. And that's exactly what you're saying is exactly right. And that's how we continue in this destruction of relationships, because of all these lies and not being truthful.
Right. Yeah. I think, this next line where she says, your hands can heal, your hands can bruise. That's like the gist of what we're talking about. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the same hands, 2 different functions. And it's like, which one do you want to do? Which one do you want to do? And I think that after you get bruised by someone's hands, it's hard to accept healing from them.
I mean, you're completely right. It's nearly impossible. I remember I was in a relationship and we had an altercation. And then I remember the next day, he was picking me up from work. And I believe he was reaching out. I believe he was gonna kiss me, because that's what you do when you see each other, type of things. And I flinched back. Wow. And it wasn't even like, oh, let's plan to flinch back right now. Wow. Like, it was in front of my coworker. Wow. Like, it was a whole, and that awkward, like, I shouldn't be here, I shouldn't have seen that. And she just, like, hurries and gets in her car. Mm-hmm. And even he's just looking at me like, really? And I'm like, I guess. Yeah. Like, it was a whole thing.
Yeah. Let me apologize to you, because my survival instincts kicked in. And you did something a little while ago that made me think I wasn't safe. So let me apologize to you for not feeling safe. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I flinched.
Right.
Like, why does anyone flinch?
Right.
Because something in them got used to getting hit. I wonder how that happens. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, So that's the kind of things that I think is going on. Is we have all these expectations. Like, I want you to be loyal, but I don't have to be. I want you to be honest, but I don't have to be. I want you to be cuddly and nice and soft and all that stuff, but I'm going to be hard and calloused and everything. It's like, that's not how anything works. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I saw a picture a while back of these birds that were on top of an alligator, eating all little bugs on his skin.
Interesting.
He's just floating around getting a little massage from all these birds. And it's like, great. It's a strange pair, but it works, right? It's reciprocal, right? He just needs to exist in the little pond, and they get to eat off his neck, and it's like, appreciate you guys, you know what I mean? That's like, everything in nature works with each other, and when you work against it, you can't expect it to reinforce fruit in your life, or good fruit, I should say.
Right.
You know? So, I mean, that's one of the things. It's like, okay, when I look at my hands, and if I am in metaphor, if I'm the hand of God, am I bruising or am I healing? You know what I mean?
Right.
And when someone looks at me, do they say, here comes healing, or here comes a bruise? When I start approaching them.
Jesus.
That's your reputation. And it doesn't come from nowhere, it comes from you.
Right.
How we act, how we treat each other, you know? And I think there's some deeper thing to this, because if I get bruised by a stranger, that's what happens sometimes, you know what I mean?
Right.
You get in conflict, it is what it is. When you get bruised by a friend, you get bruised by an intimate relationship, that's when it becomes like catastrophic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing we have to avoid at all costs, is getting wounded in a friend's house.
Yes. I mean, like you said, it's one thing when you said this you've said this for many years, however, we did talk about in a previous podcast where you were saying it's one thing when you're a wolf and you act like a wolf, you know, and it's a whole nother thing when you put on sheepskin and you're a wolf, you know, and it's just like, act accordingly, you know,
exactly.
Like, be who you are all the time.
Right.
Be who that is, and then allow people, have the decency to allow people to see if they want to interact with you or not.
Yeah.
And I just think that even the awareness of that, though, if you know that you're supposed to be a sheep and you have wolf tendencies, you know what I'm saying, then heal.
Right.
Because there's no reason that you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Be self-aware enough to know, man, because even within myself, when I had that dream, it was like, first of all, you need to be aware, because I'm serious, that was rage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was not, and if you think about it, a wolf and a sheep is more peaceful.
Yeah.
A wolf is probably, raving, raving, ravenous. It's not peaceful. And so it was like, I feel like that dream was telling me, hey, when this comes up, how this comes up, you are going to have to slow down.
Right.
You're going to have to be peaceful
Right.
through this conflict, because that's who you actually are. And I feel like hurt and pain, because you don't want to go through that, because I haven't wanted to go through that again. I have, in order to protect myself, is when I have become and been somebody I was not. You know what I'm saying? And so the courage is to heal instead of becoming somebody you're not, in order to protect myself.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
getting to know someone is a journey, right? You're not going to understand who they are in a date or 2 dates. It's going to take a whole lifetime, really. And as you're going on that journey, what we're confronting nowadays, and what we're confronting in this podcast, is when you're on that journey to learn another person, and you keep coming across booby traps. So what a booby trap is a disguised safety, or disguised peace, where I think this is a path, but it's actually a pit, and get covered with fake grass. And when I walk across the path that I thought was safe, I fall into a pit, right? And the thing is, the person that built that booby trap knew you were coming in that direction. So what she's talking about is, when you got hurt, you said never again. And what also happens is you can make a booby trap on the path to your heart.
Wow.
So the next person who comes up this path to get to know you, they're going to turn a corner and fall into this trap that you made so that you wouldn't get hurt again. Because last time someone came up this path, I got hurt. So let me put these safety measures in motion. And you may not say that explicitly, like, hey, let me go ahead and booby trap the path to my heart. No one says that. Like,
no.
Dear journal. So go out and install a couple more booby traps. It's like that doesn't happen, right?
Right.
But we do it all the time. Mm-hmm. And again, what's interesting is like really skipping along with the person.
Right.
On the way to heart. And then they fall in the trap and it's like, dang, what happened to you? Like, no, you gonna talk about this? Like, this has to change. You know what I mean? Because I think that, we're doing it for the right reasons, because I don't think you should allow yourself to be a doormat. However, it's like you understand that this path is no longer usable, right? Like no one can come up here. The best person in the world cannot traverse this anymore. And you made it that way. You know what I mean? It's like you have to, that's the thing. It's like, am I going to booby trap the path to my heart, or am I going to let God guard this for me? Those are the two options. Because someone has to do it. It does have to be a protector. I get that.
It does.
But it's like, who's going to be a protector? You know what I mean?
Right. And
the second part I wanted to mention was the call to integrity can come from your peers, but ultimately only can really come from God. And the reason that we have mentioned him and will continue to mention him moving forward is because that's the standard that we're trying to live up to, right? So when we say, I am who I say I am, the first person who said that was God, right?
Right.
And it's like, oh, so I was making his image. Let me start acting like him and see what happens. Mm-hmm. Let me start acting with integrity, right? So when I'm in the club, I'm one person. I'm at church, I'm the same person. I'm at work, I'm the same person. Guess who else is like that? My father.
That's right.
And then that person comes home. The mom knows who's coming home. The kids know who's coming home. The cat knows who's coming home. Like the dogs that are protecting the kids and the wife from the man, because he's like, I saw you hit so-and-so, like he starts growling whenever he pulls into the driveway. It's like, because the dog knows too, that you're crazy. You know what I mean?
Sad.
So it's like, when you have everything intact and in integrity, you're reflecting his glory. That's the point.
That's right.
So you are trying to be the same person for your spouse, for your significant other, right? However, ultimately you're supposed to be doing that because you're trying to imitate your God.
Right.
And that's what ultimately gives you the power in a relationship.
And you're with you all the time. All the time. So you know if how you're thinking is not in congruency. You know if how you're feeling is not in congruency. Everybody else can see what you're saying and how you're acting.
The image you put out there.
Right. Everybody else can see those two things pretty expressly. However, those other two things are affecting, the thinking and feeling is affecting what you're saying and how you're acting.
Right.
And through people viewing that and at the same time, on a soul level, you can feel when somebody thinks and feels right.
Right. Yeah. Essentially, because you should have a mechanism in your mind that lets you know, okay, this person's a little off. I don't have the details.
Right.
I don't know why, but something's off.
Exactly.
You know? And it's like, you can experience that with someone else. Make sure no one else experiences that with you.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Let you be who you say you are.
Right.
And when you present yourself to the world, let that be who you is. Someone that you're proud of, someone that God's proud of, and someone that everyone else that meets you is proud of too.
Right. I think that's the main challenge here. And I think even when then this next part, it says, I don't have a choice, but I still choose you. Mm. Even that, it's like, like I said even earlier, not making a choice is making a choice. And it's like, what this reminds me of is like what they call trauma bonding.
Yeah.
It's like it's a unhealthy symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not mutually beneficial. It's parasitic.
Yeah. And you start figuring out over time, oh, I have a type.
Oh, yes.
And it's like, I don't, like, how is it all your girlfriends look alike?
I've heard of that.
All your wives look alike.
I've heard of that. Mm-hmm.
It's because you don't have a choice. You still chose.
Man.
You know what I mean? It's like, you can't continue to live in a paradox and not fall apart eventually. At some point in time, a choice has to be an actual choice and not just like what would you call it? A drive, almost.
Right.
Control drive.
Right. I was gonna call it an instinct,
yeah.
like a default setting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, like
it's like
it's
that's
not
the
conscious
difference
enough.
between animals and humans.
Yes.
It's just like, holy, it's winter time. Let's fly south. Why? I don't know. That's just what we do. Instead of consciously saying, you know what? I don't like the winter. I'm gonna go buy a house in Florida so I can live there half the year, and then live here half the year. That's a conscious human choice to decide what environment you want to live in.
It's so good.
Nerds don't have a choice. It just kicks in. They're like, oh, cold. I'm flying south. Look south. I don't know. I'm just going that way. You know what I mean? With everyone else. And if we live like animals, you're gonna have choices that you think you're making, and it's actually something beyond you. You're getting manipulated into it. You're getting pulled into it. You're getting addicted into it. And it's not even you making a choice. And I guarantee you there's no happiness in that kind of life.
At all. At all. I think in this song, it's people realizing that they're saying they love each other and they don't. And they're saying they love each other, and at the same time they know that they don't love each other at all.
What I got from it was the tragedy of trying to do something divine as a human. It's like, when I saw the music video, heard the song, it's like, I want to love you with everything I have in me, but I don't have it.
Yes.
I can't do what I want to do. I can't give you what I want to give you.
Yes.
This is all the tools I have. All I have is manipulation. All I have is abuse. All I have is lying, cheating, stealing, killing to get
fear,
what I want. That's all the toolkit that I have.
Mm-hmm.
However, I love you so much, I want to give you this thing that we call love. I don't know how to do it.
Right. I can definitely see that too. It's like, I even feel like it's like you're saying, wanting to give something that instinctually you know you've probably never experienced.
Wow.
It's like they said this thing exists, and I really want to believe it because I believe it would be great.
I felt it one time for a moment.
Yes, exactly. And it's like a grasping. You're attempting to grasp. You're attempting to give something that you have not even grasped. Mm-hmm. You're still searching for it. You're still longing for it. You're still desiring it. You don't even have it, and you're attempting to give it at the same exact time.
You're in the desert trying to give water to someone with your hands. You have no container for love. You're thirsty too.
Right.
And you're like, I feel like love is selfless, so let me give you something that I need, but I don't have, and the best way I can, and it's with your hands, and it's just falling through your fingers. That's what this song sounds like to me. I'm trying as hard as I can.
Right.
I don't got nothing left. I don't know how else to do this. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And when you say feel, what that means is, I'm thirsty, you're thirsty. I cannot give you something I don't have, So however long it takes, I'm going to stay thirsty until God leads me into a vessel that could contain the living waters. And then I can pour that out. Then I can give it to you. Then I can preserve even myself.
Right.
But this whole exercise in futility that we're calling a relationship is poison and wine.
Yeah, because when you think about that, it's intoxicating and deadly. You know what I'm saying? Because these kind of relationships, it takes everything. Every single thing, all of your focus, all of your attention, it changes everything about you. And so it's that, and also it's killing you. Like the good parts too, not just, the things that you do need to shut off or let go of. It's taking away the good too. And that's the danger in this type of love.
So, moving forward, you gotta start putting stuff back together. It's like you can discuss your problems, forever. Like there's all kinds of them. The next story in the book of Genesis after Adam and Eve get together is a murder. It's like it started off wrong and then it just got worse from there. So
right.
It got kind of wild. However, there is a redemption story. It just takes a while to get there. And I think that hopefully the conclusion that you come to when you actually reach the end is I don't care how much it takes to rebuild this, I'm going to rebuild it from the ground up.
Oh, yeah.
If that's not your conclusion, then the chaos has won. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The pain's won. But if you say, okay, despite the chaos, despite the pain, I'm going to start from scratch, but this time I'm going to dig deep. I'm going to go all the way down to bedrock. I'm going to make sure my foundations are straight. I'm going to make sure that they have the strength that it takes to withstand what I'm going to build on top of this. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If that's your conclusion at the end of the chaos and the pain, then you still have hope. But if you don't, then it won. You know what I mean? You can't allow that to win.
Yes. I know for me, at the end of me, and at the end of this battle that I experienced, what it drove me to do is actually want to know what love actually is.
Right.
And what was it I was saying I desired? What was it I was saying I was giving? What was it? And so I really believe that at the end of this, it completely transformed my life because I didn't care if I was right. I cared about knowing what the truth was. And I was humble enough to be taught and to learn and to heal and to understand what I thought I already understood.
Right.
It's like, man, and I think that's another thing. With our parents, not that they were perfect people, however, because we'd experienced their love and because we had viewed it, we thought because of that we had actually done it. I thought I had actually done it. Does that make sense?
That's good. Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you haven't actually done it. You just watched somebody else do it.
It's like borrowed glory.
Yes.
Yeah. Your dad was in the NFL, not you. You're the son of an NFL star.
Yes.
Not in the NFL. That takes a whole bunch of different things that you got right.
Man, and it's like in being young, you just don't get that.
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
Yeah.
And so it's like
what Shaq said, he's like, he told his kids, he's like, I'm rich, we're not rich.
Love it. Yes.
I'm rich, we are not.
Right.
You're going to college, you're going to get your degree, you're going to come up from the bottom.
Right.
That's exactly what I did. You know what I mean? It's like, that's true. That's very, very, very true.
And I think that's really what it was. It's like I witnessed unconditional love to the level I could experience it. And so I thought I had what it took or I knew what it looked like, or attempting to, like, we know mom and dad's relationship, where it was built on Christ is where it's strongest and it stands.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, and then in my immaturity, I think, oh, I'm going to do the same thing without that foundation. Absolutely not.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yes, so there's that's where the end of me, you know, in my pursuit in a relationship like this, that's where it brought me to.
Yeah. So, parting thoughts. If you are in a situation or you're just getting out of a situation, my advice to you would be to pause. Like, do not try to heal yourself with no relationship. It's just not gonna work. Take the time to write a song like this. That's as honest as this, and say, this is all stuff I thought was going on. This is actually going on. Get a journal. If you haven't done it before in your life, get a journal. And write down all the stuff the raw way. Don't write it as if your secondary teachers don't read it.
Right.
Write it as if you have to write it. Because you really do. Get all that stuff out. And sit down and reflect about how you got to where you're at. And ask yourself if you have the courage to rebuild. Because whether or not you get in your own relationship isn't really the test of your character. It's, do you decide to love again in general?
Right.
Because we think this is just romantic relationships. This is all. And you can get to a point where you're so jaded that you don't want to love anyone.
That's right.
And all the success in the world is not going to be worth that cost and that price. So we are healing not just to get back into romantic relationships, we're healing just so that we can get and receive love in general.
Exactly. Because, and it really does start with you and the Lord. I mean, if you don't heal, you're not even going to love yourself the way you need to.
Right. And
your children or your parents, your siblings, your friends, anybody. Not anybody. That movie Fences is so deep because there's a part that talks about you build this fence, and yes, it's protection, and also it is a prison at the same time. So it's like we don't get to we're not compartmentalized like that, like we wish we could be. Oh, I'm just gonna choose not to love this one person.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that it's infinite. It's a circle, you know, it's a flow. And there's different expressions of it. However, there's these key elements to it that have to be there in order for you to receive or give it. Period.
That's good. It's almost like I'm gonna love the kids and not their father. It's like, where did they come from, you know?
Exactly.
It's like you can't love the kids fully unless you also love where they come from.
That's so. Oh my goodness, I gotta really think about that. That is, man, that is so true. Because at the end of the day, that child is half that parent, the other parent as well. You didn't do that by yourself, and if you show that child, even in the things that they got from my children, the things they got from me that are broken, if I can love them. I remember Kadiri asked me, Mom, if I had a child and I wasn't married or I was a teenager, would you hate me? And I told her, no, I pray you never do that. However, I wouldn't hate you because that would be me hating myself. And that's the thing, is when you see those things in your children that are brokenness from either you or their father or mother, if you can love them through that so that they can become healed, that's the whole point of God's unconditional love, is because it's transformative.
Right.
And when we're loved that way, that's what transforms us, not the resentment and hatred because of the brokenness.
Yeah. I know. That's good stuff. I think I'm excited for the next podcast because we can start exploring some of the foundational truths, you know what I mean? Like the things that make up the 50-year anniversary type of love, you know what I mean? And the lifelong love, the love that got past racism, and the love that got past, like, I want to start finding some stories about those families that had one brother on the north side of the Civil War and one cousin on the south side of the Civil War. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you guys continue to love together? You know what I mean? Like, those are types of things where it's like, not only did you make it, but you got tested by some of the heaviest tests that there is. How you hold together. You know what I mean? So I'm excited about exploring that in the future. Ultimately, it's going to take God. Ultimately, it's going to take courage. And ultimately, it's possible. I think that's the one thing I want to leave with everyone today is that it's possible. No matter how futile it all seems sometimes. The reason we're doing this podcast is just to tell everyone that it's possible.
Yes, absolutely. We need hope, faith, and love in order for our own worlds and our connections to actually prosper. We need health. Yeah, we need this. We need hope. We need belief. We need trust. We need vulnerability. It's not, oh, you could have it or not. Yeah. We're at the point where it's like, no, we're starving for these things. Yeah. And we are not able to continue on in any beautiful way without actually having love. Right.
Yeah, so join us next time for the continuation of this story. I think I'm going to be surprised myself. I mean, we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about next time. But, again, we're not coming here with all the answers, but we are coming here with what God's told us in particular about certain situations and certain relationships. And thank you guys for joining us, exploring this part of love. And we'll continue to do so next time.
Yes, thank you so much. God bless.
All right, thank you guys.
Good.